Hello everyone, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, what is the curly girl method? But first, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my experience. So I started the curly girl method 14 months ago. Before that, I didn't really like my hair. It was frizzy, it was dry, it was insane to deal with. And in the winter and the fall, I would straighten it or use a wand to curl it. But in the summer, it was a different story because I didn't want to sit and straighten my hair for an hour because it was just way too hot for that. And then I'd go out in the humidity and it would frizz up anyways. So what even is the point of that? So I would wear it up mostly in braids. I would sometimes just let it dry as it is and it would be insane, but I'd just make sure that it wasn't going anywhere. Or I'd just take the front pieces and curl them with a wand and be like, okay, well, at least the front looks good, right? Like, no, it didn't look good. But then I found the curly girl method. I figured out how to deal with my own hair. Everyone's hair is different, so you really have to find out what works for you. But I found out how to properly moisturize my hair, what products to avoid, what products to use. Now I only wear my hair curly. I feel more myself with it like this, and I don't really plan on going back using heat tools on my hair. And my hair is the healthiest it has ever been. If you guys want to see my hair progress and the transition that I've made, I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description. I've been locking my hair since I started on there, so you can really see the transition that my hair has made. So what is the curly girl method? It is a method to care for your naturally curly, wavy, or kinky hair to get the best healthy curls for your own hair. It was created by Lorraine Massey, who is the author of the book Curly Girl, the Handbook. I'll leave a link to that book in the description. I am going to give you an overview of what I've learned in the last 14 months, but I also encourage you to go read that book. There's a lot of helpful information in there, as well as stories from other women with curly hair. Now, if you search for the curly girl method online, you might see a lot of information. It might look really overwhelming. So I'm going to try to simplify it for you so that you're the most successful on getting some good results. The biggest points to take out of this is to stop using sulfates and silicones on your hair. Why? All right, so let's start with sulfates. So sulfates, they're a cleansing agent that is found in mostly shampoos, but they could be a little bit more harsh, especially for us with curly hair, because they strip the natural oils out of your hair. Now, curly, wavy, and kinky hair, they have some texture to it. They move, right? So it's a little harder for the oil in our scalps to travel down to keep our hair nice and shiny. Moisture is your friend. So those natural oils in your hair, you need those. So when we're stripping it constantly every single wash, it's just going to create dry and frizzy hair. Since sulfates are in most of our shampoos, us curly girls instead should use either a low poo or a co-wash. So a low poo is a shampoo that doesn't have any harsh sulfates in them. A co-wash is a cleansing conditioner. This is Lorraine Massey's favorite way to cleanse curly hair because it provides moisture while also cleansing your scalp. One thing I do have to say about co-washes is that you definitely need to scrub your scalp a little bit longer than using a shampoo. I would recommend like 2 to 3 minutes. Some people find that co-washing exclusively works for them. Others find that every maybe 3 washes or so, they'll do a low poo. Then I suggest every 4 to 6 weeks to use a clarifying shampoo on your hair to get out any buildup. Also, your clarifying shampoo can have sulfates in them to strip that out, but I would highly recommend using a deep conditioner afterwards. The next thing that we are eliminating from our hair care is silicones. Silicones can only be removed by sulfates, so if we are not using sulfates, the silicones are building up on our hair and scalp, which then can cause some problems long-term, including dull and frizzy hair, and then maybe even some scalp issues. Silicones can be found in conditioners or styling products, so always check your ingredient. There's a couple other ingredients that we should avoid. Drying alcohols because they dry your hair, and as you know, curly hair needs moisture. Also mineral oils and waxes because they also can cause some buildup. Now you can go around reading ingredients, learning which ingredients are not curly girl approved, or to make it a little bit easier, what I like to do is go onto curlsbot.com. I'll leave the link in the description. Now this website, you can just copy and paste the ingredients and submit, and then it'll tell you if it is curly girl approved or not. If it's not, it'll specifically point out the ingredients that are not curly girl approved, so then you can get to know which ones are and which ones aren't. Now the overall goal of the curly girl method is to have healthy hair. So in order to have healthy hair, we need to stop damaging it, right? So that means to stop using heat on your hair. So no flat irons and curling wands, because that is damaging your hair and ultimately going to straighten out your curl pattern. Now speaking of damage, part of the curly girl method is to stop coloring your hair. Now some curly girls choose to just ignore it and they continue to dye their hair, which is totally okay. It's your own hair, so you can do whatever you want with it. But if your goal is for ultimate healthy hair, I would avoid it, but once again, it's up to you. Next thing, don't use a towel to dry your hair. Weird, right? But the towel fabric actually causes frizz. So instead, I like to use a t-shirt. A lot of people do that. Or you could use a microfiber towel. Or there's specifically curly hair towels out there somewhere. If you feel like finding them, go for it. But I find that a t-shirt works great. Now those are the most important parts, in my opinion. But I'll tell you some other things that go with creating a routine, and that you're just gonna have to make your own. So let's talk about products. This can be a really overwhelming topic when starting the curly girl method, because there's so many out there and there's so many people telling you to use this and that and whatever. The main thing is to find something and use it and try different application methods until you find one that works best for your hair. Now my suggestion is to grab a co-wash or a low poo or both to see which one your hair likes most, a conditioner that is silicone free, and then a leave-in. I think a leave-in is important because it adds moisture back into your hair after you've rinsed it all out. Now you can use your regular conditioner as a leave-in. I would suggest watering it down a little bit to get it through your hair. But I know a ton of curly girls who just multi-purpose their conditioners for even a co-wash, a conditioner, and a leave-in. So with a curly girl routine, you're basically going to co-wash or low poo your hair, rinse it out, use a conditioner. We do this thing called swish stick condish, which really gets the conditioner working in your hair with water. If you want to see how to do that, I do have a video on my wash routine. I'll link it down below. And it'll kind of explain some of these other things I'm going to be talking about. Next, you have mousses, gels, custards, creams. Like, what do you do with all that stuff? When I first started, I thought it was crazy that people were telling me to put gel into my hair. Now, I only thought it was like to slick back like guy's hair, or I literally don't even know what, but I didn't know that it could create hair like this. But I think gel is the place to start with your routine. It seals everything in and keeps it nice and frizz-free. So my advice is to pick one styler to start and really work on the application method. Now this could be praying hands, this could be glazing and scrunching, or it could be roping, which is when you press the product in like that. There's a ton of videos on this on the internet. You can definitely look it up. You could also check my wash day routine to see how I apply my products. But I would suggest you work on the application method before buying a ton of products. Now when adding more products in, I would try them separately first. So say you've been using a gel all this time and you buy a mousse. Now I would try the mousse by itself first, see if you get some nice results. Because then you can be like, okay, my hair wasn't great this time, so maybe my hair doesn't like mousse. Next, try the mousse and gel together. Try mousse first, then gel first, then mousse. See which one gives you the best results. A lot of this is trial and error, and you really have to find what gives your hair the best results. So I would say to change one thing at a time. Change your application methods one at a time, change your products one at a time, and then you can really pinpoint what is going on with your hair, and it'll be a lot quicker of a process to figure out how to get some awesome curls. Next, after the styling, you can either air dry your hair or diffuse it. This is total preference. I like to air dry because it takes me like an hour just to diffuse my roots because my hair is so thick. But a lot of people love diffusing and it doesn't take that long for them. So you really just have to play around with that. Also, you have to think about how frequently you're washing your hair. So it's probably not the best to wash curly hair every day because it'll eventually just dry your hair out. I would say to try stretching your wash day, see how long you can go between washes, see what works for your hair and your scalp. If your scalp's getting itchy or greasy, wash your hair. If it's only been 2 days, cool, do it anyways. Now this brings up a good point about the transition period. So this is something that I was super worried about before I started, for whatever reason. If you go from using a sulfate shampoo to exclusively co-washing, you might see that your hair is getting a little bit greasier faster for the first couple weeks. That will balance back out. It might take 1 to 3 weeks, but it's not a big deal. And if you have oilier hair, maybe low pilling is the better option for you. So once again, listen to your own hair and your own scalp. Now your hair might be a little wonky within the first couple weeks or the first couple months, but that is totally normal because your hair is trying to repair itself from all the damage you put it through. The first month that I started doing the Curly Girl method, my hair was a lot wavier than it is now. It took me about 3 months to find a routine that really worked for me that I started getting some nice results from. And then 5 months before I started seeing a real difference in my hair. Now my waves are wavier, my curls are curlier, and that's typically what most people find when they stick with it. Now your best resource is going to be the Find the Curly community on Instagram and YouTube. I discovered the Curly Girl method from India Batson and Curly Susie on YouTube, and then that led me to the Instagram community, and then that was it. I was sold. I wanted to try it. I wanted to see if I could enjoy my wavy curly hair. And so I made an Instagram account to track my progress with the Curly Girl method. Here I found so many women and men who are just constantly logging their journey, giving advice, and cheering everyone on. That said, everyone's journey is different, so definitely don't compare yourself to others, but do take the information they have and see if it can be applied to your hair. And that is my general overview. I could go into a little more detail on those topics, but if there's any questions you have, leave them in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a video on it. All in all, I hope this helps you out, and if you're thinking about doing the Curly Girl method, just try it. The first month might be a little weird, but then it's gonna be so worth it in the end. That's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And don't forget to subscribe.